Stranger Things gave us one of the greatest shows in Netflix history. It also gave us some of the most painful character deaths we've ever had to sit through. And now that it's all over, now that the Upside Down is gone, Vecna is dead, and Hawkins is finally free. We can look back at every single loss and ask the question that's been haunting fans for years. Did they actually have to die? Today we're going through every Stranger Things character who absolutely did not deserve their fate. We're ranking them from heartbreaking all the way to genuinely unforgivable. And this is a full spoilers video. Every season, including the finale. If you somehow haven't finished Season 5 yet, close this now and come back. Still here? Good. Let's talk about the deaths that broke us. I've gone back through all 5 seasons, the behind-the-scenes interviews, and the Duffer Brothers' own explanations for why these characters had to go. This isn't just me venting, though there will be some of that. It's a real breakdown of why these losses hit so hard, and what the show lost when they happened. Alright, let's get into it. Point 1. Barb Holland. We start where it all began. Barb Holland. Season 1. The one who started a movement. Barb was Nancy's best friend. Careful, loyal, and honestly the most sensible person in every room she walked into. She showed up to a party she didn't even want to go to just to look out for Nancy. She sat outside by the pool alone, doing the right thing. And while Nancy was inside with Steve, the Demogorgon dragged Barb into the Upside Down. She died alone, scared. And for a long time, nobody even noticed she was gone. Justice for Barb became a whole cultural movement after Season 1. That phrase trended globally. People were furious, and rightfully so. The Duffer Brothers later admitted they were surprised by how much people connected with her. But here's the thing, Barb died so that the audience would understand the stakes. She was a sacrifice for plot purposes. She was never going to be saved. She was always going to be the example. And we never really got over it. Point 2. Bob Newby. Bob Newby. Superhero. That's what Joyce calls him. And after what he did in Season 2, there is no other word for it. Bob came into Joyce's life when she and her kids were still recovering from Will's disappearance. He was warm, patient, completely unbothered by how complicated their family was. He never made Will feel broken. He just loved them. And when the Demodogs overran Hawkins' lab and everyone was trapped, Bob was the one who ran back in. He decoded the system. He got the doors open. He was seconds from the exit. The Demodogs caught him right in front of Joyce. She watched it happen and couldn't do a thing. Bob had no powers, no military training. He was a guy from Radio Shack who decided that Joyce and her kids were worth running toward monsters for. He deserved a long, quiet life with that family. Instead, he got 1.5 seasons and the most gut-wrenching exit the show had given us up to that point. Sean Astin made Bob so genuinely good that losing him felt like losing a real person. The show has never really replaced that warmth, and it never fully tried to. Point 3. Alexei. Okay, let's talk about Alexei. If Alexei didn't make you smile, I genuinely don't know what to tell you. He was a Soviet scientist who got swept into the Hawkins chaos entirely against his will in Season 3. He was technically the enemy, but once Hopper and Murray cracked him open, once you saw who he actually was away from the Soviet program, he was just this funny, curious, childlike man who had never been allowed to simply enjoy being alive. He loved Slurpees. He was obsessed with cartoons. He won a giant stuffed animal at a carnival, and he was laughing, genuinely laughing, for maybe the first time in years, and then he got shot, right there at the fair, by an assassin who had been hunting them all summer. Alexei spent his whole life being used as a tool by people who didn't care about him. He got one afternoon of real joy, and it was taken away immediately. The Duffer Brothers could have let him live. They could have given him a life in America, a Slurpee, a cartoon, something. Instead, they made us love him in about 4 episodes and then erased him. Cruel. Absolutely cruel. Point 4. Max Mayfield. She made it. Barely. Now. Technically, Max didn't die in Season 4, but what happened to her was honestly worse than death for a while. Vecna targeted Max because she was the most emotionally vulnerable. She had never fully processed Billy's death. She was isolated, grieving, and quietly falling apart. She volunteered to be the bait in the plan to trap Vecna, sitting at Billy's grave in the cemetery, waiting. And when Vecna came for her, her bones shattered, her eyes went white, Lucas was screaming. She was gone for a moment. Her heart stopped. 11 pulled her back. But Max spent season 4 ending in a coma, shattered and barely alive, and then season 5 gave us what we needed. Max woke up. She healed. She graduated. She got back on her skateboard. She and Lucas made it. That date at the cinema they'd been promised since season 4 finally happened. Max got her ending, and it was earned. But season 4? Max? That girl went through absolute hell for being brave enough to help her friends. The fact that she almost didn't make it, after everything she'd already survived, was one of the show's cruelest moments. She deserved that happy ending, and we're glad she got it. Point 5, Eddie Munson. And here we are, number 1. The death that broke the internet and honestly still hasn't fully healed. Eddie Munson. Eddie was only in season 4, 1 season, and somehow he became one of the most beloved characters in the entire run of this show. He was the leader of Hellfire Club, dramatic, weird, theatrical in the best way, the kind of person that Hawkins had always written off as a freak. He was blamed for a murder he didn't commit. He spent half the season running and hiding while the whole town wanted him dead. And through all of it, he kept showing up for people. When it mattered most, he stood on top of a trailer in the Upside Down and played Metallica's Master of Puppets to lure the Demobats away from his friends. One of the greatest moments in the entire series. He bought them the time they needed, and then the bats came back. Eddie fought as long as he could, and when he had the chance to run, when he could have saved himself, he didn't take it. He kept fighting so nobody else had to. He died in Dustin's arms. He told Dustin he didn't run this time. He said he finally did something brave. The internet collapsed. Fan pages appeared overnight. Joseph Quinn became a global star. And Stranger Things lost something it spent the rest of the series trying to fill. That specific energy Eddie had. That weird, brave, loyal electricity. He deserved to be cleared of the murder charges. He deserved to graduate. He deserved to see his Uncle Wayne again. He deserved to grow old. And season 5 confirmed what we already knew. Hawkins never even learned his name. The cover story erased him along with everything else. Eddie Munson was the most undeserved death in Stranger Things history. And that's not a close call. So there it is. Barb, Bob, Alexei, Eddie, and the hell that Max almost didn't survive. 5 characters who gave everything. Some of them to a town that didn't even know they existed. So I want to know, who hit you the hardest? Which death do you still think about? Drop it in the comments. I actually read them all. If you want more deep dives like this, character breakdowns, moments that mattered, the things Stranger Things got right and the things it got wrong. Hit subscribe. Thanks for watching. See you in the next one.